Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jacob Restituto, and today we have the absolute pleasure of having Dominic from That Singer Reactions on the channel. You know, your name had been coming up, Dominic, quite a bit in the sense of, or That Singer Reactions, your name when I say that, has been coming up quite a bit. People have been mentioning your name on my channel for a while, so it's an actual pleasure to officially meet you.
You too, man. Like I love your content,
Oh,
man.
thank
Like
you.
your reactions, you super professional, man, with everything you do. Crazy voice.
Oh,
Yeah, I
thank
peep
you.
you, bro. I peep you, bro. Yeah. And you and Danielle, y'all both got amazing voices. So man,
Thank
yeah.
you. I
No
really
problem, bro.
appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for the compliment.
No
You have
problem,
been
brother.
crushing it yourself, though, man. You just, at this point, I don't know when this video will post, but you just hit 100K a few days ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm happy, man. I had a little bit of anxiety about it. Same to you, man. Congratulations to you. I know
Thank you.
you hit it way before me, but like
Only a
we all was
month.
kind of on the same wave. Danielle is like probably 200 or something away from hers. We all been kind of like going
Yeah.
on that same like wave. But yeah, man, I had a little bit of anxiety, man, coming up to the 100K because I was like, oh God, like you know what I'm saying, like like here it comes, like. And then when it hit, I was, it was just nice, man. It was just like, wow, it took me a long time to get here. So,
I would love to hear a little bit more. Can you explain that anxiety? Because I felt something very similar, and so
yeah.
let me backtrack just a little bit. I love
Mhm.
these chats for a couple of reasons. One, I get to meet new friends. Two,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's cool to see. I think for myself, I love watching when two of my favorite, content creators get together. And
yeah,
three, I love inspiring other people with stories, whether that be, hey,
yeah.
it's possible to make it in the music industry, or it's possible to make it as a content creator, or, I just love hearing
Right,
stories. And I think that so often these things are great to talk about because they don't realize some of the struggles that we go through.
right,
And I think
right.
that, that we
Yeah,
realize, oh, I'm not alone. So the fact that you just said,
yeah,
you had some anxiety about hitting 100K, well, so did I. So I'd love to hear your story on that.
yeah, yeah, man. Like, I was telling people a lot that there's a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, I want to like point out that I do suffer from GAD, so I have a generalized anxiety disorder. And it crippled me for an entire year in 2019. Like, so I just couldn't do. I had to learn how to walk across the street again, ride in a car. Everything was just reset, like my whole life.
Wow.
So I had to get myself back to that. And I tell people all the time the pressure of I have to make sure that I do everybody's requests. You know what I'm saying, for them, because I do have PayPal and I got Cash App and then I got
Hmm.
Patreon. So I have to make sure I fulfill all that. And I was like, okay, now I realize now that I'm getting close to 100K, there's no getting out of this. Like, there's no, hey, let me just quit. There's
Mm.
no, what I'm saying, I
Yeah.
don't want to quit. I've been doing this too long, and I love what I do, but it's just no, it's just the pressure of knowing like you're here, you're here, and people love you. And I'm hearing stories. This kid here, Mason, has cancer, and him and his mom, they watch me,
Hmm.
and stuff like that, and that kind of keeps you going. And I'm like, wow. So I kind of keep Mason like pinned back there on my walls, just kind of as a reminder, like a lot. I just took him down just so I could show you, like, this. But yeah, like it's that type of stuff kind of keeps you going, But it's just like, wow, man. I was like, I'm really like, you know, doing stuff for people, and in a way, I never wanted to be a popular person. Like, I don't care about none of that stuff, But if I'm touching people, in different ways, then that means more to me than anything,
Hmm.
So yeah, it's been great, bro. It's been great.
That's phenomenal, man. I love that. And it's so remarkable to see the lives that are touched. And not, what's really interesting is like the international lives that you touch. It's like, it's so
I
remarkable.
know, dude. Oh my God, I didn't even expect that. Like, I have a massive Australian fan base,
Really?
group of supporters. Yeah, group of supporters. It
Huh.
came from one video. Dude. I reacted to Jimmy Barnes and John Farnham. two of the greatest singers in history. If you heard them, like, they very much in the wheelhouse of how I sing, because I grew up singing gospel and stuff like that. And they have those soulful voices, and I was like, oh, wow. I was like, they really sound good. So what happened was that one video made the Australian news article, Noise. Yeah, it made that one, and then it made. I ended up being on Trevor Long from the Australian Today show.
Wow!
And I did a podcast with him, and I think from there everybody just kind of came like, you need to check out these people, and I was like, it's crazy that I never heard of nobody, And I'm a music head, but I was like, that's kind of crazy, and I think what it is people say they appreciate me because Australian music usually gets, I'm sorry, not Australian music, but Australian artists usually get overlooked. They don't, people don't, like, if you think about the top 10 greatest male singers in history, nobody has Jimmy Barnes or John Farnham, but he's known as the voice over there in Australia.
Very
he's
interesting.
The singer, and I was like, wow, that's, it's crazy. So, yeah, yes.
That is super interesting, especially Australia, just in the fact that, like, I don't even know where Australia is on my list of top viewership, because I was just talking. I know where Australia is in the world.
Okay.
But like,
it's like me, I don't know where it's at on the map. Like,
yeah, sure. But like, in the sense of like my viewership, the reason I was so surprised with that is like people are blown away with the fact that like only 25% of my viewers come from the U.S. And then like tied for 2 and 3 are the Philippines and Indonesia. And then fourth place is a big gap down. It's like 25% US, and then like 11% Philippines and Indonesia, and then like 4% is like the UK. So it's like a big gap down. So I don't know where Australia is on that list. So you really surprised me with that. But I could see it almost being very similar to almost how Danielle Marie has a tremendous Filipino following, which we all do as well. But like hers is like, she's got like yours is Australia, hers is the Philippines, and it's very interesting just to see how one artist or one video can kind of trigger that, because then you go down that rabbit hole, which is cool. It's actually very interesting.
Yeah, it's like you said. I think mine's funny thing is mine was even, and I've reacted to a lot of Philippine artists.
Yeah.
Filipino artists, but I think they were like third, because I think the United States was edging out, because before I tapped into Australia, it was the United States, and Norway was right behind it.
Really?
And I think that was because, I think that might have been because of Angelina Jordan.
Who's from very Norway. Interesting.
Yeah, so I think that was because of her. And then it was the Philippines. Australia wasn't even on the list at first. I'm sure it was, but like you said, that did. And then all of a sudden when that happened, then it's just like, woof, Australia is like the bigger one, the U.S., and then, Norway, Philippines, that's how it is. So I was like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's so fascinating. So let's backtrack a little bit. You said you've been doing this for a while. I would love to hear a little bit about you and your story. However you want to go far, you want to go back, whether it be, whatever.
Yeah, man. Funny thing is I've my channel has been up since I think 2012.
Same here.
And I don't know what I did. Like I'm pretty. Saying, like, I think I just created a channel maybe to comment and stuff. I don't know, but
interesting.
But I have been doing reactions for about 6 years, and it's always been funny because when I started I started kind of like when No Life Shaq started. You know what I mean? And we started during a time where reactions wasn't really, like you couldn't watch BTS and get your views up, and stuff like that. There was no BTS then. You know what I mean? Like, we just had to you just reacted to stuff that you wanted to react to for fun. You know what I'm saying? Me, it was more natural for me, just speaking in terms of me, because I am a singer, and this is exactly how I am off camera.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, this is exactly how I am off camera. Like, a funny little story. Tina Arena from Australia just saw my us listening to her music on the flat screen yesterday. and she just responded to it. It's on my Instagram story, and it was just us. My sister's the same way. She's just grooving. You better sing. You know, that's just how we are.
Yeah.
You know, because we both, me and my sister, both are singers. You know, so you know that's just kind of how we is when we hear great singer. That's what when I heard you and Danielle, I was like, oh wow, they can sing,
Thank you.
really good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So no, I mean, no problem. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, so the build up was creating my channel was not really hard. The only thing is I came into YouTube not knowing anything about it. Meaning I just did reactions. I didn't know nothing about monetization. There was this YouTuber his name at the time was Simply Food by TY. He was one of the first YouTubers I met on here. And what was it? Maybe I think about 2 years now. 2 years ago, he hit me up and he said, "Have you got any of your videos monetized?" And I was like, "No." I was like, I knew about it. Now, at this time, 4 years have already passed. You know, all you have to do is hit 1,000 to monetize your videos or something like that.
Yeah.
I got up to maybe 30,000. You know, my Dimash videos already reached 300,000 views. My Chris Stapleton videos at 200,000. So I was like, no, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, go monetize your videos. All of them. And I was like, okay, like I thought I can get in trouble
for
doing that. You know, I was kind of scared to touch anything because for long, I wasn't making any money or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like for nothing that I was doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty interesting, bro. I got here.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to. So what was the growth? You started 6 years ago. What was the growth of, you know, 100K today or whatever, like 5 days ago, 6 days ago, a week ago, however long, to zero? Like, where was that growth?
The growth really started. So when I started YouTube, I started doing a lot of R&B. Okay. You know, I started doing a lot of R&B, heavy Beyonce and stuff like that, which I'm a huge fan of Beyonce and you know, just a bunch of like stuff. There was not even rap on my channel at the time. There was, you know, my channel was very, very diverse. It's so mixed now.
Yeah.
With you know, comedians and a bunch of stuff now. You know what I'm saying? So I've trailed not only in music but to other stuff now. You know what I'm saying? So, but when I started, it was more R&B. But then I tapped into rock. That was my first time ever hearing Led Zeppelin in my life on this channel, and then I started getting another fan base. So then the subscribers started growing, you know, and then I think So Yang came in somewhere, you know, and then which is another artist. She's amazing. Then Dimash came in. When Dimash came in, I think that's kind of when things started really just going, you know. So but I didn't want to fall in that trap. I took a couple YouTubers under my wing, you know, kind of giving them advice about like what not to do. You know, I was like, don't do these videos if you are not genuinely interested, because what happens is you'll get a bunch of that core fan base and you try to do something else because you wanted that fan base. Now they don't want to look at that. So you're getting 24 views on that video because they're not interested in nothing but what you know, like you can't, I was like, you got to make sure you don't pander. You know what I mean? Like I make sure I tell people that I was like, do not pander to no audience because yeah, it'll show, like, if you will. Like,
yeah. So it's like it's the slow growth versus the fast, cheap growth. Like, there are definite ways that we could grow our channel real quick, you know. But it's like it's not the way I want to grow the channel. You know, it's almost like buying followers on Instagram. It's not the same because you're not paying for it, but it's like it's a similar concept. You could look. I'm sure I could implement a couple of things that would go against my values on my channel, one, or separately just not be the stuff that I want to do. And I guarantee I would have been at 1 million subscribers already.
I said the same thing. I just said that in my live, dude. What you just said, I said those same things. I was like, do y'all understand how quick I can just get my subscribers up if I just make the title? If I just say, because I'm a black guy. If I just say, hey, I hate black people. Oh, here we go. It's time, here we go. That's people going to tap into that because of the title, and I'm a black guy. So it'd be like, okay, well, that's weird. What's happening here? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like you said, it's weird ways that you can get subscribers,
but it's just not the one you want. Exactly.
Absolutely not.
You want to grow. Slow growth is the way to go, man. Sustainable growth.
Absolutely.
So it warms my heart when I hear that people have been around for longer than 2 years on YouTube, because it's a little, not frustrating isn't the word, but it's a little bit of like a punch, like a stab to the gut or whatever. Like when you hear like, oh, you know, they have a lot of the friends that I made, and I don't know if they'll end up seeing this video, but a lot of the friends that I made, like Danielle and Brad and you know, are you familiar with Brad Steele and like, you know, Dennis King and Kofi? Like, I love them all. They're like really good friends of mine. But it's a little bit of a punch to the gut when they're like, when I first met them and they were like, had the same amount of subscribers, and they were like, oh yeah, you know, say I met them at 50,000 subscribers. I'm like, I just started YouTube 6 months ago, and I'm like, it was like, oh shoot, that hurts a little bit because like I started years ago. So like, I appreciate that, the fact that you knew, and I'm not diminishing their channels at all. They're phenomenal, but like, it was easier to some degree, including myself, to grow during the pandemic than it was beforehand, and I appreciate the tenacity of people that had, not saying that anything bad about that. I'm just saying it was a different time period.
Right.
So I love hearing that you started 6 years ago and had steady, slow growth before. And you knew what it was like before, because now everybody's still, a lot of people are still working from home. So it's just changed the world that we live in, which for the better, and I love it. But I'm like, every time I hear that, I'm like, oh, thank God he didn't blow up in 6 months like everybody else, man, because it hurts sometimes.
It's crazy, man. Like, even me going back to my first video, a few videos, somehow YouTube, or I guess not maybe YouTube, but maybe the owners of the video, they'll block my videos a year later. And I was like, what the hell?
Dude, that's like a new thing I'm finding, which is very frustrating. You like win the dispute, and then like literally a year later, they block it again. It's like, what's going on here?
I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? So like, I had like a Mariah Carey. That was like my very, very first video, and they blocked it. And I was like, okay, that's weird. But just kind of going, like, if I went back, like, if you see my very, very first YouTube video, it's just so cloudy. It's just, I mean, I was like, wow, I really just threw this video out there. It was like clearly on an Android camera, and just kind of looking where I was then and just looking at it now, I was like, wow. Oh yeah. That's crazy.
Bro, you know, I grew to like 8,000 subscribers on my iPhone camera alone.
Yeah. Dude, I've never used a regular camera.
You still film on your phone. Yeah, I love that.
On my phone. What it is, dude, is I buy the biggest like I had an option to get the iPhone 13 Pro. But turns out the Samsung 21 Ultra had better camera stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going with that one. Yeah. You know, so I was like, I'll just pay on that. You know, so I was like, cool, I'll just get that. And, you know, it had incredible, like the way it looked. And I remember a supporter of mine sent me, I learned that from you. I said this in a live. I hate when I slip up and say that. I hate using the word fan. I learned that from you, bro.
Oh, really?
I watched you. I think I seen you during a live, or you were doing something, and you said specifically, you was like, I don't really like the word fan. I would like to say supporters. So in my live, I was like, Jacob mentioned something about like fan. I was like, I don't like that word either. Let me say supporters. My supporters. So I try my best to make sure I say that, because it's like, I'm normal. I'm not a celebrity.
100%. You know? Very much agree with that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So I was like, my supporters, one of them sent me, they were asking me questions like, dude, have you got the camera that you were looking for? And I was like, no, I'm just going to roll with the phone I got. And they just sent me like $500 and something. And it's like, here you go, dude. Pick you whatever camera you want. And I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, dude, what do you want, dude? Do you want me to like, I can react to your stuff forever. Like, what do you like, this is great. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, no, I just appreciate what you do, putting smiles on people's faces. I was like, what? Who are you people? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like people like that where I'm from don't really exist. Like, I don't get people that's like super nice like that, you know. Like, so I was like, okay, cool. So what I did was I went shopping for that camera, showed him the receipt and everything, to show him that I'm. He told me, he was like, I don't really care what you do with it. He was like, but I wanted to honor what he said, you know what I'm saying, gave it to me for. So I looked for a camera. Turns out I bought the highest camera it was for 500 and something, and it wasn't compatible with OBS.
Ah.
So
is that how you film? Do you film inside OBS or do you only live stream? There it
film
is.
on OBS.
But do you also film too?
Yeah. I film on OBS. I do that more than I actually do lives. I do lives maybe. I should do it more, but I do like once a month. You know, like my revenue and stuff actually just comes from my videos.
Sure.
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
You know, but I'm definitely going to be dabbling more into, because people talk about live reactions and stuff like that. And I was like, I want to do live reactions for y'all, but I don't know what I'm doing. Like,
bro, let me. I'm happy to help you anyway. Let me show you. This is the mind blowing key. I don't do this anymore as much as I used to, but what I used to do is I used to live stream. I would live stream like 5 hours a day. I was live streaming all day.
Yeah.
But what I would do is I would live stream, film my reactions on the live stream. So I was connecting with the people on the live stream, hanging out with them, getting some ideas here and there. I usually came with a list of stuff that I wanted to do anyway. But if they sent a good idea or something like that, getting ideas from them, connecting with them, talking to them between. And then I was recording as well. So I was streaming, and then I would record. I'd be like, okay, hold on, ready? 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And then I'd film my reaction on the live stream, and then I'd post it later. So that, like, I'm hanging out with all these people, and then the views, because you have the live stream views, and then the amount of people that are going to watch 2 hours into a live stream to see your Olivia Rodrigo video are, like, very slim. You know what I mean? So I get that. I also hang out with people. I build a connection with them because I'm spending hours with them every day. And then I also get the video clips out of it. So I would film like 10 of them, 12 of them in 2 hours or an hour or something like that. And then, you know, that was, you got to check that out.
Yeah, it's crazy that you said, man, because like I said about me not having the, knowing how to do the reactions, like, you know, live. All I do with my fans,
it's all good, bro. It's all good.
I can't, like, I'm trying to, basically, like I said before, I'm trying to get out of the habit of saying that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to, because, you know, I get fan mail, you know, like, either you don't say supporter mail, you know, like, I say fan mail, I get that in the mail, you know, stuff like that. But, so I'm trying to shift out of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I literally learned that from you, bro. Like,
I'm honored, bro. Thank you.
I told all my supporters that live, because they know I'm very real. And I keep it real with them. I was like, man, I need to quit calling y'all fans, bro. Y'all my family. We support, you know, y'all my supporters. 100%. Cool.
Absolutely.
You know, so when I do lives, man, we always just have conversations. We just chat. My last live I did 6 days ago, I think. I made $500 doing nothing. I just was talking to them, and we're just having fun. It was sort of like, just chilling with Dominic. And we all just talk about stuff. We talk about who's my top favorite singers, and we just kind of get into like we're all like a family. I kind of know everybody by face. Yeah. When they come in, you know, like all my supporters, I know them, like just looking at them. Yeah. I'm like, hey, what's going on, man?
And you can recognize that you recognize the familiar names 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like this girl Andrea, I haven't seen her in a while. But I think she appeared.
What's her last name? You know?
It starts with a C.
Okay.
I just always call her Andrea. But yeah, she's been with me since 58 subscribers. Like, you know, and every time she, you know, as my channel grew, she always reminded me. She's like, I was here from number one. I was like, Andre, you know I know you and I love you.
100%, man. It's Kyle for me. Kyle was here. I think he was number 63, and he's still here. Really? Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of crazy, like people that stay with you for so long. Like hearing people be like, "Yeah, I was with you, man, when you were when you had the box, big screen TV with the cable in the back. Before it was Spectrum, it was Time Warner cable." And I was like, whoa, you was here since then? Like, I was like, wow, like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's great, man. Yeah. Like, hearing people who've been here for a while support us still. Like,
Absolutely. So, is YouTube your full-time job yet?
it is now. It is
Sick,
now.
man. Congratulations. Oh, I'm so pumped to
Yeah.
hear that, man.
Yeah.
That makes me so
Yeah,
happy. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
so pumped. Tell me everything about that. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
yes, bro. Yeah. So what
Oh,
happened
I'm
was,
pumped.
I love how happy you are.
Cause like I want to
Yeah.
see that cause so many people want it, and like it to me it's like it's possible. So like all my friends and stuff that are doing YouTube, I want to see them do it. Like the fact that
Yeah.
you did it, like I want to hear everything about it. I'm so happy for you.
So what happened was, dude, is I stopped working. First of all, I was a overnight stocker for Kroger's.
Okay.
And I made decent money. But I say it's been about 2 weeks now since I stopped working there. I put my 2 weeks notice in, and I kind of told my boss I had an incredible manager named Jacob, and he was an incredible person. And I told him, I was like, I'm gonna be putting my 2 weeks in here soon. He asked me if I can stretch it out just until the end of the year, because I was supposed to stop working in November, but he asked me as a favor, like, the holidays coming up is going to be really bad. I said, okay, I got you. At this point, there was no reason for me to work no more. Which is crazy. That's insane,
Oh,
right?
so pumped, bro. Come on.
Yeah, so because and I've been very, very transparent with my supporters about, I make money on Patreon, and then I make money on YouTube, and then I get PayPal money. So I was like, let's say, for instance, if anything went wrong with YouTube, I still have PayPal. Patreon.
Patreon.
Which has been very, very good, as well. So I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I don't really need, and at this time I was 3 days a week at the job I was working at because of my GAD. They had to kind of ease me back into work. I was 5 days there at one point permanently, and then I worked security on the weekend. So I did security for Beyonce and Jay-Z and Demi Lovato and all them. So I went from that to when I got sick. That happened, and they was like, okay, cool, we'll put you on 3 days a week. You come in at 1 o'clock in the morning, leave at 6, however you want to do it. And then eventually I dropped down to 2 when I realized that I needed to put more effort into YouTube, because now the PayPal request, the PayPal request was coming. So, and I have a lot of PayPal requests. So I was like, okay, cool. I was like, Jesus, but I got to commit to this more, because I'm not getting, I had to work, the next day, and then I had to wake up and then try to squeeze out 8 to 9 videos a day, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just clouding up people's feeds, but I really don't know any other way to put those videos out when people will pay me, to do it.
Okay, so you post them all on YouTube too?
Yeah, post them all on YouTube.
That is, I think, the key. You and I you post a lot, I post a lot, and we're full-time YouTubers. I think that is the determining factor. People think it's crazy how much I post, but we're able to make a living off of it. It makes a difference.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
Sorry,
that's
so
why
continue.
I tell people.
But I wanted to point that out.
Yeah. And that's, like you said, me and you both have the same similar thing, where we understand how it is. Because you'll get people who will be like, somebody just said to me yesterday, it was like, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you not post as much? You're kind of clouding up my stuff. If you could post 2 videos a day. And I was like, I hear you. I'll figure out maybe some kind of way I said, but people are expecting their requests to come up. So there's really no way for me to not post, these videos all at once. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry that you have to scroll down.
Yeah. I give people a warning. Like if I meet somebody in person, they find out I do YouTube full time, they're like, oh, I'll subscribe to you. And I'm like, hold up, buddy. Just want to give you a big heads up. I don't post once a month kind of thing. If you subscribe, it's gonna you're gonna have to scroll to find your next video kind of thing.
Yeah. You're gonna have to see, and dude, because my PayPal and my Patreon, that's why I tell people all the time, the PayPal and the Patreon and the Cash App is not about the money.
Sure.
I tell them this all the time. I tell them it's simply about the filtering. Like I've done an artist,
Oh,
like
interesting.
you know what I mean. Like for instance, there's that. This is the reason why my channel is just so mixed with so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There, I told them, I said, out of 100,000 comments, there's no way that I would have pointed out a guy named Yaha Maratani. You know, like if I just clicked on him, I was like, there's no way for that artist to be seen on my channel because I will probably be going to people that I recognize.
Sure.
Sure. So I was like, if you want people, for instance, this one girl, her little sister sings, and she gets like 24 views. I don't care about the views.
Yeah.
I reacted to her. She was like, "Can you react to my little sister?" She sent me a PayPal request for it. Yeah. And I was kind of explaining to people, this is how you get people out there. Like she wanted her little sister to be seen. I tell people all the time, there's no when I'm doing PayPal, you can send me whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You have a choice to not send me or anything, or you can send me as little as $1. That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to ask about this. So you don't have it's like a blank number for really?
For PayPal? You can send me, and that might be why I got so many, but I've been gracious. It's been good where people don't really do that. They actually are kind of generous. They'll send 10 or 20, which is that. But some people will be slick and they'll send me $1, and then they'll have 4 requests in a row, and I'm like, that's not how that works. Like, what I'm saying? Like, because I got to do other people's stuff too.
Sure.
Like $1 is not gonna I can't react to all 5 of your requests. When I have other people who've done something, know what I'm saying? Like I've had somebody send me, 100 before, and they had a whole list of, what I'm saying? I was like, thank you so much for that, but I would rather it not be that way because I have to, I have to also keep my channel fresh, as I was explaining to them, because if you see my PayPal and my Patreon, it's full of a lot of Australian artists, which is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Thank God I love them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's probably a lot of artists that I haven't seen, so I was like, okay, cool. I said, but I have to throw some other stuff in there too. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So usually two videos out of the 8, I usually do something like if Angelina Jolie drops something, Morissette might drop something, new. Yeah. We don't know, but if she drops something, or I'll do beatboxing, something that I haven't seen, I'll do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that.
So you post 8 times a day?
Yeah. For instance, I was off yesterday. I took off yesterday, but I know the last 2 days, I dropped like 8 or 9 videos at once. So total of 18 videos in 2 days. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, man. I think I got like an email from YouTube yesterday or something like that. And I think it said that I had posted 240 videos for the month.
Me too, bro. Yeah. I got the same thing, bro. Yeah. I literally got the same thing where they was telling me like, hey, it showed like I ain't never got that before. I don't know if that's a new thing or what, but yeah, it told me like what the views and the watch time thing. It was like the statistics or something like that. They just sent me it like you're doing 102%, better than normal. Wow. It was like 102%. I was like, oh wow, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know what none of that stuff means, but I'm just like, great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's been so cool, man. Like I said, just trying to get through these. So I also, just to point out, I made like a different process for myself. So what I did was I was like, okay, what I used to do was I used to take 4 PayPals and 4 Patreons, and I'll just do those. And I was like, no, I got a better idea, because actually my best friend, I pay him to sort that stuff out for me. I pay him every week, and I've never been blessed to do that before. And I was like, dude, if you can help me in any kind of way with this, that'll be great. So what he does is he'll highlight, what's important, who said this, and stuff like that. Like, for instance, somebody said that they was diagnosed with a disease or something like that. And I was like, oh, thank God you highlighted that, because I wouldn't have knew. Somebody had a birthday coming up. This, what I'm saying? I didn't know none of that stuff. So
now you're able to say in the video, like, oh gosh, man, let's see, like that. That's worth it. It's now you can say, hey, not only am I doing this reaction for this person, but happy birthday to you. Like, man, that and it stinking builds the connect. See, like, man, I'm really glad that we're chatting because I really hope that people get this. Like, what you and I are doing, and we're no different than anybody else. It's just what we're doing is different than other people. Mm-hmm. We're very similar in that aspect. We post a lot, and we both have an employee. Not only are we making enough for this to be our time job, but we're also both paying for other people. Like, I have an employee as well. You have an employee. Yeah. Now, the people we're playing, I don't know if it's a full living wage yet. It's a part-time job for them, I'd say. Mm-hmm. But we're still paying some. Now we can pay for ourselves and somebody else. You know, like, there's actual money in it. You can actually make a living, and we're just getting started. I would love, and this is my goal for 2022, and I would love to see you do this too. I think that there is no reason that we don't get like some serious sponsorships on the channel. If our videos are getting 50,000 views, 30,000 views, 100,000, there is no reason that we don't get a serious. I'm talking like a $2,000 plug. You know, I'm not talking like a hey, here's $50. I'm saying like you know, Samsung's like, hey, on your next $100,000 video, like 100,000 view video, here's $2,000 to, you know, I don't know, man. That's my goal for 2022. And I'd love to see you start doing that.
Same, man. Like I said before, I got a small sponsor. Which is DIYLJ. They customize jerseys and stuff.
Cool.
And they hit me up and asked me if I can, promote their stuff. And I was like, sure. But you have to do kind of like digging too, because I remember I got this watch company, Paul something, I forgot what it was called. They hit me up and it was fake, and I was like, interesting. So I was like, I don't know what to really do about this. And then I was like, nah, that's a fake sponsor. Then I looked at the real one and they had like millions of views, and it's like a watch company where they're like rich. And I was like, what? Y'all telling me I have to like pay for y'all to send it to them? I'm like, no.
Wow. That's interesting. No. So, and to some degree, like, I don't even want to do affiliate stuff. Like, I'm not about like, hey, click the link down below, and if somebody buys something, then I get 10. I was like, no. I think that I think that we are at the point, and not like I said, not in a cocky. I just want the best. Like, there's no reason if another channel that like in the finance thing gets with sponsors, there's no reason that we can't do it. And I think agree. I want to start. I want our community to start doing that. Like I want to see Danielle and Brad, and I want to see that happening.
Yeah, people don't understand, dude. Like you said before. What we have to go through, like even me, like even money that I get from the channel, I've used so much money to pay for better things.
Sure.
I bought the $400 laptop that I bought, and I can't even tell you how many lights and stuff I've run through, and I was like, oh, this don't work, wasted money. Boom! I paid for like a $200 camera, threw that in the closet because it didn't look better than his phone. It was like a Logitech Brio. I was like, okay, nope, that's not gonna work. So I paying for software.
Sure. Oh my gosh, the amount of subscriptions I have. Yeah.
You know what I mean. So and that's kind of what I'm dreading too, dude. Because as a YouTuber, like I'm not familiar with doing. I'm not gonna do it myself. I'm gonna go to somebody, but the tax stuff that we have coming up, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, definitely go to somebody for sure. This is super important. Have you incorporated?
Well, I just literally you mean like have I been like writing stuff off?
No. Like do you have like I have Jacob Restituto Music Incorporated. Like it's a business.
Oh no, I haven't.
100% do that for 2022.
Okay.
Absolutely.
How do I do that? Do I just like
get an accountant, and they would help you do. I mean, technically, you could probably just do it with this state, but you might need an account. I did it through an accountant, or you just type in like how to incorporate on Google that.
Okay.
And it is like because for tax reasons, and I'll go super brief, and then if you want to chat more, we can chat off the stream, just because I don't want to bore people with it. But essentially, you can write things off, and there's something called FICA taxes.
Okay.
And what that is it's like your Social Security tax and your Medicaid or Medicare tax. And the way that works when you work for a company is they pay 7.5% and you pay 7.5%. But because now you are your own, when you're a sole proprietor, you are your own company. You pay 15. You pay the full 15%. So when you have a company, you can actually the company's making money,
Right.
not necessarily you, Dominic, right?
Right.
The company is. So only when you pay yourself a paycheck do you pay the full tax and the full FICA tax. But everything that you write off and stuff doesn't pay that tax. And then an S corp is something called a pass-through company, where you end up, if you say you make $100,000 in profit, that passes through to you, but it works out in the benefit of taxes. Definitely look into incorporating for sure.
Okay, yeah, I will. See, like I said, if you didn't tell me, dude, I don't be knowing.
Well, see, that's why it's so important for all of us to stay connected. Like, I have learned so much from Danielle and from Kofi and from like all the people that I've talked to in these. You know, I've learned so much. And I think that it's so important for us to have a community to bounce ideas off of. I heard, actually, shout out to Mr. Beast, obviously one of the biggest YouTubers out there. But like he says, he does this. He goes for a walk every single night, and he calls his fellow creators, and he's no reason. He's just like, hey, how are you, kind of thing. And they talk for an hour. He calls a different person every night, and he's like, he uses this example all the time. Say you have 4 friends, and you make 100 mistakes, you know, on your journey of creating. I make 100 mistakes. In 3 years, I have 100 mistakes that I've learned from, and you have 100 mistakes that we learned from.
Yeah.
But like, imagine if now you and I talk to each other about our mistakes. Now, in 3 years, we have 200 mistakes that we've learned from, rather than just the 100 mistakes that we've learned from. We can grow so much more by sharing that idea, and you sharing this idea, because you've messed up and I messed up, or I've learned something, you've learned something, and now I'm not only learning what I've learned. I'm learning what you've learned. I'm learning what Brad learned. I'm learning what, you know, all these people. It's
crazy
so
that you said it. Like I said before, I always had a thing where I was thinking that I was kind of like too friendly, because I used to like hit YouTubers up and be like, hey, what's going on, man? Support everything you do. Cliff Beats is another guy. You know what I'm saying? Me, him talk a lot sometimes in the DMs, but I felt weird about doing it, because I'm like, what if these people don't want to like talk to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like even when I hit you up, like I was like, oh wow, I was like, you know, he's a star. That's kind of what I kind of be thinking. Like, I was like, I don't know if these people are gonna talk to me or anything. Like, you know, so when Luis and Danielle, when we did that collaborative thing with Morissette, you know, they were just the most genuine people, you know, like ever. And I was like, cool, because I have YouTube friends that I actually, like you said, that I kind of talk to. That my boy Charlie Smith, I talk to him on just a regular basis. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We're real friends, like, you know, and my boy Manny, and we all talk, and I've given them advice. They've given me advice, you know, and stuff like that, because a lot of them, they get discouraged.
Sure.
You know,
100%.
They get so discouraged when they, for instance, there's people who have 200,000 subscribers, and they're not making close to what I'm making, or you could be making, or anybody else could be making. They're not making anything for it, and they just kind of like, I don't know what to do. I've put my all into this, and you know, it just seems like everybody. I was like, you just got. If you love it, dude, just do it. I told them one thing. I was like, I can never. If I don't feel like getting, I told all my supporters this. If I don't feel like getting in front of the camera, I'm not going to do it. I was like, I said, because I can't force. You know, if you've seen, I'm sure, one of my reactions and stuff like that, so you know how giddy I am, and you know, I'm very like waving and doing all this stuff. It's just me normally. So if, you know, mentally something is wrong, I can't get in front of a camera and fake that. You know, like, so, you know, I always want to make sure that I'm looking at stuff happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if I'm not feeling something, it's gonna come off on camera. I ain't really good at hiding my face with anything, with lies especially. If I'm lying, you'll probably know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so what do you see going forward for you? Like, what are some goals that you have? Not like end goals, or not like, I hate the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Because I'm like, I don't stinking know. I have goals that I have, but like, I don't know if it's going to take 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, or 10 years to get there. You know what I mean? So, but I would love to know, like, what are some goals that you have with the channel?
I do plan on doing some vlogging stuff.
Very
you know what
cool.
I'm saying? Like, I want to do that because I don't it's crazy because one of my supporters even hit me up and said, "Hey," they was like, "Pace yourself," like telling me this, and I was listening. Shout out to Jamie. She was like, "Pace yourself." She was like, "You don't have to, don't worry about us too much. Make sure that you are mentally fine." She was like, "Sometimes if you want, switch the channel up." She was like, "You can do a vlog here, you can sing here and stuff like that, and do little things like that." And I was like, "You're right." You know what I'm saying? Like I do want to do some of that because music reactions is reactions period is what I love to do. That's still the core of my channel, but I want to make sure that it's different, vlogging and so people can kind of look at the inside of my life. Like I see you when you were like sick, and stuff like that, going through what you was going through, and I'm just like, sometimes I'm anonymous too, when I'm like kind of like stealthing and what
Kofi calls that? Do you know Kofi Reacts? Do you know his channel?
I heard of him.
Okay, yeah. He calls them Ninja Watchers. He's like the ninja watchers, the ones that are, because like you'll have like say however many people you have in a live stream, but there's only like 6 people commenting, and you're like, well, there's all these ninja watchers that are watching, but they don't comment. You know what I mean? So you're a ninja watcher.
Yeah, like me, I've come to it a little bit more. Usually that used to come from me being like, like I said, it kind of plays back into that. Oh, I don't know if they're gonna say anything back to me if I say anything, or if they're gonna like I'm coming. I don't want to be an annoying reactor.
Oh, stop! You be you, bro. Like, you be you.
Yeah,
you be you.
Like I'm just kind of that way, Anyway, just kind of like that's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, oh man, what Jacob said in this live actually made sense. Like I said, I jumped in one of your lives before, and then I had to finish my videos, but I just jumped in because I think you popped up like on the side, because I got you on notifications. I got Daniel on notifications, Lewis on notifications. So, because I don't mind just scrolling through videos just to see what stuff is, So, when y'all pop up, I was like, okay, cool. Let me click and see what's going on, and I was seeing your live, and that's where I heard you when you was talking about like, I don't like the word, I don't even think it was a live. I think this was just a video.
It was when I was doing my opening of the 100K thing.
It had to be.
And YouTube sent me that letter saying you're fans, and I'm like, no, let's change it. Yeah, that was probably it.
Yeah, that's what I was watching. Yeah, because I'm still waiting on them to send me the notification on my dashboard.
After we get up this live stream, I'll show you how to do that. Because shout out to, do you know Bayo? Have you seen Bayo, rapper? He just hit 100K. He actually hit it a couple days before me. He showed me how to do it. I'll show you how to do it. I don't know how they send a notification, but I just learned that there's a chat in your Creator Studio that you can actually Google support. I didn't know about that, and it's like the best thing in the world, and they respond so fast.
And
I'll show you. So I message them, and I'll show you what to do. It's super easy, and I was like, "Yo, Bayo, like, bro, thank you for this." So I'll show you. I'll pass on the knowledge that he passed on to me. So yeah,
but yeah, I'm definitely like I said, man, looking to grow the channel in terms of, like I said, doing different things. Because like I said, sometimes that copyright stuff can be a lot. Like I said before, it wasn't even until you told me about the disputing thing. I didn't know anything about that until last week.
Wow. Oh, bro, your income's about to like skyrocket. Shoot, you thinking left your job on not disputed claims?
I was so
bro, your income, you're like gonna be next level. Holy, you're gonna be like woo!
You should, and that's what I always told my supporters. I was like, it's funny, y'all. I said, because half of my videos, about 75, maybe 79% is demonetized.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's funny because I could have copyright right over the video. So it's not showing the video, and sometimes it'll still get demonetized.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I
bet
doing?
You're probably going to go to 50% now, I think. At least 50%.
Wow.
I think
I never knew that, dude.
A lot of,
like I said, I was just
and you'll learn. This is really interesting. You actually learn which artists. There's certain artists that they'll just like certain artists will always let you do their music or release the claim, and certain artists will never let you. Usually like artists that are signed to like UMG, for example, like Taylor Swift, Demi Lovato, like just these massive names, Justin Bieber, like all these big massive names are signed to UMG, and very often UMG just immediately declines it. But a lot of other,
dude. I'm sorry, go ahead. You said
like a lot of others, I think almost every video I post gets a claim, but I end up just disputing them. But the key, if anybody's watching this that has a channel, the key is I would never dispute or like appeal the if it gets
Right.
if they hold on, I'm having a brain fart. If they copyright claim it and then you dispute it, it goes into something called escrow, which means like they have time to respond. And if they say no, we don't want you to monetize it, then you don't monetize it anymore. But if they don't say anything or they release it, then you keep the money. But if they say no, we don't want you to monetize it, and it stays ineligible, there is an option for an appeal. Right. But it says if you appeal this there and it's declined again, there is a potential that you could get a copyright strike. So I have never appealed anything. I don't believe.
Right. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that too. I remember I was doing Tiny Desk concerts.
Sure.
And I had to warn other YouTubers about this because Tiny Desk, I got a copyright strike for doing a Tiny Desk
concert. Strike.
And then strike. I had a strike. Now I ended up getting it taken down because all you had to do was like reach out to the people, like send an apology, and boom, it was taken off. You know, so when I got that, I was like, and then I'm just looking at everybody else, and I was like, everybody else is doing Tiny Desk concerts. Are they not getting copyright strikes? Why am I getting?
I think that YouTube honestly has some glitches in it sometimes. We're like,
yeah.
Because I just posted a video recently about I never got I've done thousands of reactions, and I've never gotten a strike. But I've gotten a couple warnings, but they've only been from live streams where it says, "Hey, you're live streaming copyrighted content. We're gonna shut down the stream if you stop." And I just missed that notification. And they said, "Hey, you violated our community guidelines."
Right.
But then when you look at the community guidelines, it's like pornography, violence. It's like some stuff that wasn't on the channel. So I've disputed that, and it's been released.
Right.
I think that's happened twice or three times. And then randomly, like the stinking YouTube problem we were just talking about, one of the videos got reclaimed with that issue like 6 months later. And then I disputed it, and they said, no, sorry, like this is a valid claim. And I'm like, that makes literally no sense. So I have I have a community guidelines warning. Which nothing, like it was nothing, but who knows?
Yeah, but like you said, I guess it can tap to anybody. Because like I said before, I remember I did Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, and this is when they made WAP, right? At the time, I wanted to hear that, and I was like, oh, okay, wow. So it's this kid who is like 16, 15. I was like, there's no way that this kid can watch this video. And I'm 33. Like, I mean, I don't think they know my age. I mean, but I'm like, why did my stuff get blocked? And I can't.
Oh, the blocking's I think different though. That's based on the stinking. You're talking when it actually gets blocked, right? And that's based I think on the record label. The record label chooses to do that.
Okay, so let's see. I was confused about it because I was like, how did all these people?
That's really interesting. That yeah. No, I think that's a record label thing. And then I agree. I think that some people edit their video in a way where they take out enough of the song, maybe, or they blur it. Like there's ways to get around it. But the blocking, I believe, is a copyright. Like a copyright issue, not so much a content issue.
Right. So usually, what happens is when they do block something on my channel, I just put it on Patreon as an exclusive. So I'm like, hey. I can't. Y'all are the only people that can see this.
Now that you're disputing, though, some of those will get reversed.
Yeah. Like if I didn't talk to you, I would have never knew that. That's the same with Tobias Young, which is Simply Food by Ty. If I didn't talk to him about monetization, I probably wouldn't have still been monetized. Because it wasn't about me not knowing about it. Yeah. Like obviously, I see the dispute thing there. But like I said before, I don't know anything about this stuff. I kind of was like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna react. Like,
bro, we're all stinking learning. If it wasn't for Bayo, I probably still wouldn't have my play button, or the little blue check mark next to my name now. So like, that's what we do. And you know what? Anybody watching this, find other people in your career, whether it be YouTube, whether it be music. Like, find like-minded people that are doing because like. I love my wife to death. Like, she's the best person in the world. But she doesn't understand necessarily the struggles of YouTube. Right. Just like I don't understand the struggles of being a nurse. Like she is. Right. Like, so like...
Right. Yeah.
Like she has her work friends that she
Right.
relates to, and I have my work friends that I relate to, and like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very important. Even if you have 1,000 subscribers, find another channel that has 1,000 subscribers, and like because it was stinking before I met all my
Yeah.
friends that I just mentioned. I had like 45,000 subscribers probably when I first started meeting all that. Like it was
Yeah.
lonely up
Yeah.
until then. Like cuz
Mhm.
I didn't have anybody to bounce ideas or questions, or if I
Yeah.
was frustrated with something, there was nobody to be like, "Oh yeah, so am I. You're not the only one." Like it was a
Yeah.
lonely ride. So if
Yeah.
if I wish that I had found other channels and be like, you know, like just like-minded channels and we grew together because it's fun to grow together because I
Yeah.
met these people when they had
I agree.
45,000 or 50,000, 30,000. Now to see us all to kind of be at that level where like Dennis King is now at 89,000 or what, like
Yeah.
we're all growing
Yeah.
together, and which means you
Yeah.
all have the same issues together and you can work through them.
Mhm.
Like I just got a text from somebody literally yesterday, was like, "Hey, talking about Patreon, asking for Patreon ideas and saying, like, how do you use Patreon? And I want to utilize it better." And like, it's I love, and then I bounce ideas off of them and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
you're crushing this. How are you doing?" So you know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah. Like you said, I take kind of what I've learned through the 6 years of me being in YouTube. And like I said
Yeah,
before, it wasn't a lot that I knew in terms of monetization and stuff, but I knew about the struggle
yeah,
and what not to do and what to do, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that people love you for you. Because if you
yes,
cater
so
to an
important,
audience, or
so
you're doing
important.
certain things, they're not going to watch you. You'll find out
Yeah,
that you have so many views for this video, and
yes,
then when you do a vlog, no one is watching you. You got two people watching you out of a million
yeah,
people. Like, that's weird. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's strange. And people wonder why. Like, that's because you can't do it that way.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So,
No,
it's
I love
yeah.
that. I love that. So I want to wrap this up with you. I want to know, just because I don't want the, not because I'm not having a good time. I just feel like that it's getting long for the listener. So I could literally talk for another 5 hours with you. I'm loving every second of this.
Right. Yeah, literally, man.
I love ending every single chat with the question: what is something that you know now? One thing that you know now, or a couple things, whatever, that you wish you knew when you first started.
Hmm. One thing that I know now that I wish I knew before I started. When I started, um,
A tough question, because you've
it,
actually answered that question a couple times in here, being like, you literally were just talking about one great point about like being true to yourself rather than the pandering. But if there's anything else
yeah,
that you don't know or want to
I
expand on,
I would say that you actually really affect people in different ways.
very
I
interesting.
have learned that because you don't really know that people are going through stuff, and I've just kind of the stories that I've heard where people say, you have literally helped me get through the pandemic. And someone told me I was the reason why they fought in the hospital. And I said, what? That
Hmm.
is like,
Yeah,
dude, like, I was like, so like I said before, that the fact that, like, I didn't realize that then, but I realize it more now, that what you do and the stuff that you do in your videos, and what I'm saying, authenticity, that really comes off to people. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? A lot of people hit me up. My Instagram is just packed right now. You know what I'm saying? Twitter is packed right now. Like, with people saying, "Hey, I love me and my mom and my sister. We all watch you together," and
no,
you know what I'm saying? And just it's just hearing it. And I'm like,
yeah,
that's great. That's
yeah.
like, I've never experienced that. Especially, I'm a kid that grew up in the hood and stuff. I've never
Where are you from?
experienced Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, cool, very cool.
Yeah, so we called
But
it Nasty Natty here. Yeah, it's
but
funny.
I
Like,
love that, man, and I love the fact, like, it is so true. Like you never know who you're affecting, and or benefiting, and even to smaller channels, like even if you're getting 5 views, like you never know how you're affecting those 5 people, and I
yeah,
think that is
yeah,
so important, and it's so important not to focus on the numbers, because like it's so easy to get just forget that if you have 100 views or 100,000 views, that's actually real people behind there. So I love it, man. It was an absolute pleasure to chat with you. If you could hang out for a couple more seconds, though, I just want to say thank you so much to every single person that watched this, especially to the end. You guys are the true ones. Definitely go check out That Singer Reactions on YouTube. All the links will be down below, the YouTube, the Instagram. And thank you so much for watching. Best way to support my channel is by checking out my own original music. I appreciate every single one of you. In fact, shout out to Dominic over here from That Singer Reactions, who was complimenting me and Danielle. We actually have a track coming out. It's not released yet, but by the time this video is released, it'll be out. It's me, Danielle, and rapper Bayo, who has the YouTube channel as well. So go check that track out. Thank you so much for watching. Download the new Jacob Restituto app, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.